Welcome to the Faith Christian School podcast. It is our pleasure to partner with our parents to bring information that will help you as a parent, as a spouse, and as a child of God.
Welcome to the Faith Christian Schools podcast. I am your host, Doug Dickerson, along with my co-host, David Freeberg. We'd like to welcome you into another episode of our podcast today.
You know, children start using smartphones, tablets, all that kind of stuff well before they're even potty trained.
This is true.
Yeah, a simple swipe of the screen, and they've got a cartoon or a little game, a little something with some color that can keep them entertained for just a few minutes, and oftentimes that's really all that we need. But as they get older, they start searching the net, they start using some apps, and oftentimes it's all well and good, but not always. We need to know, at least be aware of where our kids are going and what they're doing and how long they're doing it. According to a Washington Post article that we just found today, it said that teens are spending more than 1/3 of their days using social media, such as online videoing or music, nearly 9 hours on average. 9 hours. That's as much as they should be sleeping a night. And that's how much time they're spending on social media. So today we want to talk to you about some of the things that you as a parent can do to help keep your children safe while they're navigating online.
Mm-hmm. So in our desire and effort to partner with you, we came across some ideas and tips that we found that we thought might be helpful to you. So we just want to pass them along to you, and these are things that hopefully can be beneficial to you in your home. So each family really needs to be aware of what is happening on the computers and the smartphones and the tablets, and I think that's kind of the jumping on place. Just be aware, find out what they're doing, where they're going, what's going on with it. And families need to also really just discuss what is best for them and come up with a media plan in the home that works for them. And some of those suggestions we'd like to pass along to you. So here's one, for example: decide on screen time during such times as dinner or in the car or family outings. I know sometimes a lot of families, they just won't even allow it at dinner time. This is family time, and we're going to put our devices away, and we're not going to do it. But each family just needs to come up with a plan that works well for them and implement that. Another thing to do is set time limits for screen time, and to also set a time for screen time to end. In other words, you just tell your child, at 8 o'clock, no more, or 9 o'clock, whatever the case may be, depending on their age and that kind of thing. But have parameters in place that you as a family stick to and you agree upon, and this is how we're going to do it. Typically, a good idea is at least 1 hour before bedtime. They need to be off the device and get ready for bed. Also, discuss with your children what information should be shared on the internet. And I think a lot of times, we're just, our children are just not aware of that. They don't understand the consequences of that. Or remind them that once it goes on the internet, it's there. And, you're leaving a trail, it's not going away. It's there. So your pictures that you post and comments can be retrieved by someone else, and we have to be careful about these things. So, and also, I think a good idea is also to decide on what apps are appropriate for your family, and just make sure you know what are on the apps with your children. If it's a device that they're using, you're paying for it. You need to, find out what the apps are, where they're going, what they're doing, that sort of thing. But these are just some simple tips that I think can help in a lot of ways in terms of monitoring as a parent what's going on.
Absolutely. Along with those apps and things, it's a good idea to get the login information for those things. That makes it a lot harder for them, or remove some of the temptation too, for them to hide things, to put things on there that they wouldn't want you to see or hear. And it's not a punishment, it's an accountability issue. So if you have that, and oftentimes, with my boys especially, I had an account in the same app that they did. And then I would friend them so that I would be able to see that way also the things that were going on. Another idea, another thing you might want to consider is only allowing the screens in common areas for the family, in the living room or in the kitchen or dining room, so that there's no secrets, that they know that at any time someone might be coming up and taking a look at the screen. And again, it's just another accountability piece to keep them safe, to keep the temptation away from going places where maybe, or saying things that maybe they shouldn't be saying. Another idea that I thought was really good was to keep the charging stations in your bedroom or in a common area, so that these screens, these smartphones and things don't go into the bedrooms, because as much as we think our students are mature and are going to turn it off at a reasonable time, all of us can get distracted, and you think, I've only been on it for 10 minutes, and you look up and it's been an hour.
Right.
And and it can happen to anyone, but if you have it out in a common area, those things aren't going to happen nearly as much, especially if you have that agreed upon time beforehand. And as we mentioned before, just be intentional. Come up with a plan, be involved in the things that they're looking at, so that some of the things that we hear about, the bullying, the inappropriate sites, some of those things have a much less chance of happening.
Right. And, they're just, for all of the precautions that we want to take as parents, and being intentional, as David was talking about, and monitoring the things that are going on, we also want to acknowledge that there are a lot of great things out there that are available to you as parents, especially as it relates to education and learning. And we incorporate a lot of that in our own classrooms here at Faith Christian School. So let me just mention a few of the apps that we've come across. And if you ever stop by in the office, and you can see copies of the Low Country Parent magazine that we have available, some of these tips, apps, suggestions came from that magazine. But ABC Kids has an on-demand videos of some children videos like Bob the Builder and Peppa Pig, and these are some great apps and great resources for you as a parent, so take advantage of those. But ABC Kids is the app. Endless Reader helps preschoolers learn how to read, so that's another great educational app for you to consider. SumDog is used for teaching math, and so that's another good app. Starwalk 2 is a stargazing app, and so that's just really cool app, and this is one of those apps that you can use and just build some good quality time interacting with your child and going outside and looking at the stars and exploring the night sky, and that's a fun app that you can do. Hoopla is a great app. Hoopla is a wonderful app. You can be linked to your library, and gives you access to movies and audio books and ebooks, and that's a good one. Check out Hoopla. That's a good app. And so there are others that you may like, but again, there's many, many resources available. But the key here that we just want to communicate with you is just to be intentional about the apps that are on your devices. Know what's there, and also just pay attention to it with your children. There's a lot of great things that are available to us that were never available to us even just 5 or 10 years ago, and it's constantly changing and evolving. But we also had to give, just a common sense approach and caution to times and boundaries and how to use it and make wise use of your time on your devices. So hopefully these tips have come in handy for you today.
Now, I know that we didn't cover everything that you are interested in or have questions about, or other suggestions that maybe you have for some apps. So what we've done is we've created some resources on our website that may answer some more of these questions or put you in that direction. And you can find those on our website at faithchristiansc.com. Also, if you're interested in finding out more about Faith Christian School, you can find out information on that website or call us at 843-873-8464 and talk to Cindy or someone else at the school, and we'll be able to answer some of your questions, invite you in for a tour to take a look around and see what's going on. You can also take a look at our social media apps on Facebook at Faith Christian School or on Instagram at Faith Nights. And again, stay current on what we're doing at the school, doing in some of the classrooms, those types of things. We've enjoyed our time with you today. On our next podcast, we're going to offer some more information that will help you grow as a parent, be a better spouse, and become a better child of God.
Thank you for listening to the Faith Christian School podcast. Faith Christian School disciples students to be engaged by Christ and engage the world for Christ. We look forward to partnering with you on our next podcast.